how has this transformed your relationship with your loved ones?
I think it's transformed us in more of a friend relationship than a mother-daughter relationship, in that I think she looks at me differently. When she lived in my house and she was in high school, etc., I was almost the bad guy. And now that she's seen us go through all these trials and tribulations and starting and stopping, and even the experience of having staff in our house and providers and all that kind of stuff, and talking about everything that she's been through in the last 10 years that she's been living on her own. I think that she really appreciates me as a person in her life that's helpful and friendly and wants everything to be the best for her. And we've talked so many times about, well, just not saying no to you doesn't mean that that's the best person for you. And I would say to her, I love you enough to say no to you. And that I'm looking out for you and giving you the best advice and trying to teach you things that you need to learn. And she's really come around to, yeah, mom's not the bad guy. And so it's great.
That's wonderful. How about you, Rebecca?
I think the biggest, I think, flip in that I've seen in the transformation is communication styles and the ability to communicate. And let me explain that a little bit. One of the things that was always important to me is I wanted to give him the opportunities to keep growing, go next level, try to strive for those qualities and those opportunities that would help him gain a higher level of independence each time. So like as a child thinking about Rotary Camp, like, oh, here's an opportunity for Rotary Camp in the Akron area. Here's Camp Ethan. So I talked to him about it. I'd be like, this is, you're going to go here and this is what we're going to do. And we're going to explore you being, at camp for a week in the summer. Like that was new. So a lot of the, I guess, push and pull of the opportunities when he was younger was because I drove that. I was the driver, right? And then as he continued to see these experiences as he got older, and he wouldn't have known, like, hey mom, I think I want to go to college, let me apply, let me do this. Like he was capable of it. And when I found out about these different programs, I drove and helped in that. Of course he wanted to do it. I wouldn't make him do something against his will, but I was the driver of that. So I've really seen a big transformation in the last, I would say, 5 years on the flip of the communication. So through those different experiences, he saw the different things that were created and the trust that was gained. Like my mom puts me in these situations where I'm continuing to grow. I'm getting exposed to other people. I'm growing, I'm learning. And then, it flipped where I don't have to be the driver in that seat so much anymore. He's the one coming to me. He's the one where it's like, well, what do you think about this? Or I want to do this, or like the ideas and the thought processes and the possibilities of things he wants to do come to me now. And that's the biggest change. And that excites me, definitely excites me as a parent. Even though he's an adult now, like just last week, he came to me, he's like, Mom, I want to, can we get a truck? Well, to him, it was a truck, but it would be like an RV to me. And can we go visit every single baseball stadium in the country? Can we just go around? So I love the fact that he has these creative ideas and things he wants to experience in life. That now I'm like, wow, is this a possibility? Can I make it happen? I don't have to be kind of that sounding board for him. Not that it was always that way, but really just the flip of the communication and seeing the creativity that's coming out of him now, and him understanding, there's a lot of other possibilities. And that's really exciting for me. And that's the biggest thing I think I've seen in the transformation of just the experience we've been through.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Patty, what about you?
Yeah, so our son, he had speech delays So communication, I can see the improvement over the years. What was very helpful was, you know, as a child with communication issues, he didn't know how to express himself, and we would, you know, expose him to different things, but we always had the concern about the speech. But then later years, as he's gotten older and we've worked through some of these communication, he's taught me to be more patient, because one of the things as he's gotten older, he's explained things to us, you know, a little bit more. He said, what I hear here gets jumbled up here and doesn't come out here. What I'm thinking does not come out. So that's helped us tremendously as he's gotten older. He's kind of explained what he experiences. And then, you know, the other thing is patience. We also know with his disability, there's a little bit of the processing delays. So we could ask a question and he might answer it 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes later. We think he's not listening, but we've learned to just ask the question, step back, and then he'll answer. But there might be a delay there. And that was always, so that's been kind of enlightening for us. So the communication has helped, you know, just his explanation and his openness and communication as he's gotten older. Now that has still been, that was a process. It's taken a long time getting through these processes. It's not an overnight, like, light bulb discovery. I mean, but with that, as he has grown, we have tried to help him, like with, you know, as Rebecca was saying, you know, the community part of it, in the sense of trying different things. We do realize sometimes he'll just jump in full force, and other times he's like pulling back, and we're like, here, try this. And we have to really encourage him to try it. And then he finds he loves it, you know, that kind of thing. Not every time, you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But we've encouraged him, like, he loves music. Okay, well, with his speech, sometimes singing, you know, singing, piano, different things. We've tried different things to try to encourage that music, because he loves music. Guitar lessons, different things, what would work. And he is very in tune with just listening to music. He knows the artist, he knows the year they started this song and that song. And so just trying to find what are his interests. And then, well, let's try this maybe in relationship to that interest. You know, trying to find those niches and trying to find, you know, what he likes. And then just to build that character, build that confidence as he continues to grow. It's an ever-changing environment. You're never going to have the final answer in anything, in the sense, you know, it's what may be fine today may not be fine next year. Interests change just like everybody else. But you kind of like roll with it, listen to them, and then try to, if they find they're leaning towards something, kind of encourage them to go, oh, let's try this out. Because there might be 10 different things you can do, like music. There's 10, you know, all these instruments, you know, well, do you want to try this? Do you want to try that? You know, and just see, you know, something might connect and something might not, but they end up finding their path. And he knows we're there as a supportive system now. It's not so much as we're a disciplinary parent type thing. We're more of, you know, we're there to support him in his decisions, guide him, and help direct him towards that. When, you know, when we're not here anymore, he has to know that down the road who's going to be around him. So we're kind of preparing for that as well. So he starts thinking his way through some of these situations and likes and dislikes, and, you know, and it's all part of the communication. Even with his barrier of communication, we have learned to overcome some of that. But it's been, you know, a number of years of working at it. It just doesn't happen overnight.